Represento las calles de mi tierra. Mi bandera, ay, mi bandera. Puerto Rico y todos los latinos. Sonamos donde quiera.
Buenas tardes, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Sports Jedi Network. Yes, indeed, it is a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and we're here to talk about some TNA Turning Point Impact. As we have a great event last night, I asked this question. Last night, I was in the building. I was in attendance. Steve Maclin, Mike Santana, the Hardys, the TNA locker room got totally destroyed at the end of the main event by hijacking NXT talent. Now, was this a turning point for this collaboration between TNA and WWE NXT? And what is next for the TNA NXT collaboration and for Mike Santana? But before we get into that on our recap and review, I always bring my partner, the one and only from Hershey, Pennsylvania, my partner in crime, PGA Chris. Buenas tardes, mi amigo.
I wish I was in Orlando last night. I wish I was from Orlando, Florida. Damn. Looked like a great time. It was a good show. Some of the, some things, I have, some things to say about some certain matches, what I didn't like, but, how do I explain? The crowd, you guys were good overall. There were certain matches, obviously, that crowds are going to die for. But that Leon match, I thought you guys really were loud for that. You guys obviously were loud for the main event. A lot of the matches, really, I like the crowd. There were just certain points where on TV, at least, watching it on TV, they didn't feel hot. But again, I wasn't in the building. Kev can tell you more about that later on. But I thought overall, I didn't think it was one of the best shows they've done all year. But I also think this was something, good to end the year with, end the year with, whatever you're trying to do now with the Santana stuff. And then, maybe whatever happens in El Paso, whatever happens in the next couple tapings, they'll get the ball rolling for 2026. And then maybe, TV deals, maybe they'll get stuff rolling out. So after watching last night, I will say this positive. It did give me a, sit back and see what happens. Even though I've been doing this all year with Santana, I'm going to sit back, see what happens. But yes, I'm ready to go over it.
Yeah, let's go. Again, I want to thank the TNA organization from the top to everyone there for extending the invitation. Listen, everyone know, I haven't been shy about it. It's been a little bit of financial hard times here at home. To get away out from the house for 4 hours, escape, and seeing the love from TNA's high executives to security, from everyone that that recognized our faces, from being at Slammiversary, for being at that softball game, felt welcoming. It might not mean nothing for them, but for me myself, it meant a lot. To see that welcomeness, and hey man, it's good to see you, man. Great, thank you for showing up. Regardless of if it's some might say I was just done being cordial, be nice. Kind of felt genuine when they know you, So it was awesome to see everyone, those faces that we love to root for, and behind the scenes and all so forth, and the friends and the friendship and professional friendships that we made with the channel with TNA. It was nice. That's the first thing I want to say. Thank you. Thank you for extending that opportunity, that olive branch, or that just opening the door was great for TNA. That was personal, and I loved it. I needed it. People don't want to. I'm not one of those that I got to run for mental health stuff. No, I just needed escape from every day, and TNA gave me that last night. Now, getting in the building, it was fun. As soon as you walk into the building, the TNA crowd was part of the storyline, which was fun. It's not going to be told. I don't know if it was told on television on the premium live event, when we were pulled over by security, random people, and showing a photo. And it's the photo of the NXT invaders from the night before, from the Impact Zone. And they asked us, have you seen any of these guys walking around or around the greater Orlando area here today around Full Sail? And yeah, of course, you go, no, I haven't seen it, no, because we're making sure extra security is out. So they were playing the angle with the crowd. They were putting you on pins and needles with it. You know what, I appreciate it. Maybe it went over the heads of a lot of people in the arena because they're so excited. Oh my goodness, I want to get in and run to the merchandise or sign up for the meet and greets and all that good stuff. By the way, I got to tell you this: they did a great job. The Orlando, Florida, selling out those meet and greets. My goodness, to me, I think they did a great job. They did a phenomenal job with those meet and greets, Chris. I love that and the experience for it. Also, I got to see the merch stand. A lot of great merchandise. The merchandise, reasonable prices, fair to the market value. Comparing, it's not as over expensive as we see in other wrestling companies, but we're not comparing companies. We're talking about TNA and what they offer their fans. I want to tell you that was a great experience. The arena looked great. The setup. Funny that I was there a month ago for my son's college graduation there, but it was a night. It looked the setup. The atmosphere felt great. The crowd was packed early. I arrived at 6 p.m. and there was already a nice crowd aligned, and people were excited to get in there. So it looked great. The atmosphere was good being there in person. TNA one thing they do is when they do put a nice, at least from my personal experience, put a nice live experience atmosphere. And we'll go right into it. We get the pre-show match. You get the hometown man in a triple threat with Mance Warner and Jake something. I bought my friend Bobby Munoz, real legit Bobby Munoz, independent wrestler, a friend of mine's from the Bronx, and a good guy. We're gonna go tonight again for his first TNA experience, his first time at TNA for a premium live event or pay-per-view, and being in TNA. And it was fun he loved it, and he saw Jake something. He goes, this guy is really awesome. He looks the part. Great match to start. Mance Warner, I am a big fan of that Southern Psycho. This was great. Hometown man with those spots. What a way to open up the matchup. It was great. When you had great people in attendance, you had BJ Ray was in attendance in the hard camera side sitting there. You had a lot of different independent wrestlers in the building. I love the fact that the wrestlers in Orlando show TNA love by supporting and being there for the show, Chris.
Yeah, well, first off, shout out to Kev for taking everybody to their first TNA show. Me, Chef, Bobby. So if you want to go to your first TNA show, hit up Kev.
For real, right?
Yeah, right. I like, the pre-show was good. Wasn't anything important. When I mean important, I mean, these were good pre-show matches. Get the hometown man out there. And what was he wearing? A Shaq? I didn't really catch. Penny
Hardaway.
He wore okay, that's who I figured. I know he either wore that or a Shaq Magic jersey. Okay, so he wore his Penny Hardaway jersey. That was cool. I had it in and out during the pre-show while I was doing something, getting ready for the show at 8. But I liked it. I thought it was, everything they did on the pre-show was fine. And BJ Ray's, he's lurking in that crowd. He was lurking during that pre-show. So, no, the pre-show was fine, dude. It was fine.
A lot of back and forth between Mance Warner and BJ. You know what? I would love that. To be honest with you, it wouldn't mind if they gave the kid a shot at TNA.
Yeah.
I thought he didn't really, maybe WWE was a little too much for him. Whatever the case was, the kid wants to wrestle. If he wants to inspiration of wrestling, he was trained in the WWE with LFG, whatever the case is. Wouldn't mind him in the Southern Psycho. See them going to war. We see the war words on social media with Staff Lander and him. And yeah, man, give BJ Ray an opportunity. Give an opportunity to put, give him a minor tryout or something. The kid is hungry, man. The kid is hungry. Give him an opportunity. I would like to see him get a shot to wrestle Mance Warner, and maybe he could give him a death match, make the kid bleed a little bit. Maybe he says, "You really want to do this, kid?" I mean, who knows? But hometown man, always over. The crowd was cheering and chanting for the hometown man wherever he goes. That persona of Coney Dina is over. Keep it going. Keep the momentum. He's got me hooked in the magic. when no pun intended, he was wearing a Magic jersey, but he got me hooked. He's got me hooked on the Magic since the copyright, since he's put on that mask. So bravo with Corny Diener, going forward as the hometown man. Great job doing that there. One thing they had was the King speech. That match went 7.5 minutes. 7.5 minutes here. I loved the hometown man. And then we go into the King speech. Frankie Kazarian. Now, where a lot of people, I was in the mingling with the crowd before we went in the building. It felt like a 60-40 pro Santana. The 40 liked it, Kazarian as the world champion. You know what? Everyone likes their own thing. Some people like butterscotch. Some people like licorice. Some people don't like it. So there's something different strokes for different folks. I understand why Kazarian. I respect that I've said it many times myself. He's a Mount Rushmore of TNA. And why not feel happy for him being the world champion as being, and that's one thing that he needed in his puzzle to complete that Mount Rushmore. I get it, but the way they did it, we spoke about it last video. We're not going to go on that rehash again with it. He came out and he had heat. He actually had heat for his King speech. He wasn't going to interview anyone, but one man himself, and it was Carlos Silva. So let me ask you this, Chris. Do you think we're seeing the TNA persona now of El Presidente Carlos Silva, the Greco-Rican?
I mean, I would like it. I think he's gonna, something he's gonna have to get used to a little bit. I don't know if he's comfortable doing it right now. But yeah, I would like it. It makes, because that's kind of why they have Santino. But when Silva's out there, it feels important, because usually Santino's the guy, taking charge. But when Silva's out there, it's like, oh shit, like what's gonna happen? Like, you want to watch, because he doesn't go. And I think it should be like that. I don't think you should really be like an on-screen persona. I think he, like Triple H is. I think he should just stay and those appearances. Like when he comes to NXT and make those appearances, like, oh shit, he's here. Like, what's gonna happen? Like the day that man takes a bump, oh my god, I'm gonna be. I don't know what I'm gonna. I don't know how I'm gonna feel if he ever takes a bump. I'm gonna be worried. Pop. Oh my god, I don't know.
I'm not gonna worry too much because the man does a triathlon. He runs. He swims every morning. He bikes. The guy's in phenomenal shape. You see Carlos Silva up in person, and by the way, he says his regards to the channel. So of course, got to see him earlier. Had a conversation with him, and he took a bump. And Kazarian, all he wanted was to get presented the title, because he did not do that when he won the TNA World Title like Carlos Silva does. That's the tradition that he's born into from the Invicta MMA world, being the title presenter of the matches. And Kazarian didn't feel like Carlos Silva did, and he kind of called him a Dana White cosplay. It was kind of, the crowd chuckled and found that funny from him. But then I like what he says. We're forming a formal investigation on this NXT invasion, and he's one of the main suspects. So plot twist right there, that planting seeds. Could Frankie Kazarian, because Frankie Kazarian, remember, was chummy with Trick Williams when Trick Williams was NXT. When he captured the TNA World Champion, there was a lot of chumminess. We're like, whoa, Kazarian, and wonder where. But we'll get to that a little as later go on. Nic Nemeth interrupts. Nic Nemeth comes out, saying that he is going to cash in his cup possibly tonight after that tag team match, especially if with the rumors of Mike Santana not being around. Looks like they might have light work, take care of the problem that is Steve Maclin, and they'll go right into their title match, and he'll take it and walk out full sail on Turning Point as your TNA World Champion 2-time for Nic Nemeth. So that story plot thickens, and that they go ready into the premium live event Turning Point main show. At this point, as a crowd, so far as a crowd, everyone's filing in. It's starting to get full. It's starting to get lively. I do want to say though, there was a gentleman to my right in the corner, was very loud, and we wanted to be loud, but we didn't want to be obnoxiously loud or rude. He kept cheering, talking about tacos. Like, bro, the first few times was funny, maybe one or two, but you kept running that same You joke. You listen. Your LP is scratch. Move the needle, buddy. What about Tom Todd? He got to the point where it was a little obnoxious during one of the matches. I believe when the triple threat tag team, knockouts tag team, he was removed afterwards. He was a little bit unbearable throughout there. But we'll go right into the main Turning Point card. Of course, we get the announced team like any other wrestling show comes out. Tom Hannafin and Matthew Reynolds. Everyone was happy to see them. Great to see those guys walk down. Not much high five to the fans. They went right beeline right to that broadcast booth. So, we wanted to, Liz Booker T goes around and he, I'm not trying to compare them, but we wanted to give a high five to our guys, man. Our TNA announced team, but that's the one little minor disappointment I have for them. I wanted to say hello to them, but let's go right into it, man. I had the privilege of sitting behind the Kelani's parents. Got to see them there. It was M by Elegance taking on Kelani Jordan for your TNA Knockouts title. Chris, what do you think of the match? First, the presentation of Kelani and M by Elegance. She came out with H, who was the big bad wolf, and he had Little Red Riding Hood for M by Elegance.
I think they presented M by Elegance well. I think I tweeted this out while you were at the show because I said you've been saying this on the show, and I'm starting to agree. I think M by Elegance is going to be the star of that group. I think she had a better match with Kelani than Heather did. H did on Thursday so. And I like her height. I thought her moves were good. Kelani obviously was great. It wasn't that long. Didn't need to be that long. The personal concierge he was good. He caught her, talking shit about Orlando. It was good. I like when he grabs the mic. It's like like Paul Heyman used to do. But the match, no, it was sweet. It was a good match. Again, M by Elegance is improving a lot. I want to see her a little more in singles action in PLEs like this. Now that Ash is doing out for whatever reasons, I think she needs to be that, kind of stand out on her own like she kind of did last night. So I'm hoping to see that more from her. But no, good match, good outcome, right outcome. We'll see who's next for Kelani.
I want to give this credit. I love the Northern Night suplex that M by Elegance did on Kelani Jordan with that bridge. My goodness, that looked great. Like I've been praising Maggie Lee and by Elegance for a while now, and I told this to Bobby. I said, give her next year this time. She's going to be the top of the knockouts division. She's going to be where either as the top heel or babyface that people want in line to try to get that knockouts title. She's not there yet. She's not there yet, but you can see how bright her future if she stays with TNA going forward and storyline wise is going to go. And for George the Iceman, when he zings a crowd, he does it with elegance. I hate to say that. He just knows how to get it. He knows how to bring that punchline so elegantly. He could insult you in an elegant way, in an oxymoron way. But yes, I do definitely am a big fan. You are a big fan of the personal concierge, George, and he is just another one. They're bringing an elegance, man. I don't know how I feel about that, though. I don't know how I feel about that. That's a little bit, that's a little bit of a. I hope they make it work. I hope they don't, I hope they don't turn it into the, different strokes when they, remember if you're an old timer, different strokes when they bought when they bought little Sam, the little redheaded kid, messed up different strokes, or Three's Company with the extra girl, or when they bring that extra person that in those sitcoms that just kind of ruins it. It's like, when they change the mom in Webfell's Prince of Bel-Air, it's like, ugh. I hope that the M by Elegance the male by Elegance don't kind of water it down or make it look kind of cheesy. I hope I'm wrong. I kind of would have liked to leave it where George running the females. They could add another lady. Like, oh damn, who's this? But we'll see. We'll keep them in their creative hands. We'll see where they go with it. This match, Kelani Jordan gets the victory, gets the split-legged moonsault for the pin, and 9 minutes and 41 seconds. I want to give credit to Bobby, my boy Bobby. He told Kelani, put the crown back on. Kelani went away from from when she used to come to NXT before her in-ring gesture. She used to put the hands up and put her crown on. Bobby said, put your crown back on. And at the end of the match, when she won, not only she put her TNA title, she put her crown back on. She went back with that gesture, and that looks fitting. Phenomenal, Kelani. There was a lot of hey, Kelani, hey, Kelani chants in the crowd. I know she wants to be a heel on NXT TV, but people want to cheer Kelani, bro. I don't know if it's going to work for her being the heel because people want to cheer her. Why not? Your thoughts on that? It's not hitting for you because I know you've been opinionated about that.
Yeah, it's not hitting for me, but I will say this because I forget kind of where I saw this, but I kind of that kind of opened my eye up a little bit where it could make sense a little bit if people are saying, well, Kalani's a heel on NXT and she's a babyface on TNA. This is the one thing I could say that for it to make sense. The NXT locker room don't want her. TNA seems to embrace her. So if NXT's kind of if the ladies backstage kayfabe wise are saying we don't want you here because you're the TNA champion and the TNA, hey, come on, what's up? And that makes sense, right?
I would love that, but then Kalani kind of got snotty with the knockouts the other night on Impact Zone. I was like, oh, why did you do that?
Yes. That's fair. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sense of how.
No, yeah, I know.
I'm still on the board that I don't. It's not hitting for me. It's still not. That's just something that I could see. I can give it a reason, kind of how like Bubba was trying to give your reasoning on Busted Open. I'm trying to give it that reasoning. It's just that is not hitting for me, but I'm sure she'll figure it out because she's really good. She's really good.
Yeah, and then they went to the backstage. This one was a hell of a promo. I'm sorry, Gia Miller in the back. She had Mara Sade interrupted by Ryan Nemeth. I thought that was great because we got to see it in the arena where Ryan Nemeth says, "Why does he?" Because Ryan called Miller dumb, and she got and I thought Gia Miller was gonna snap because Gia Miller has that vicious side, like she's ready. She ain't pulling no punches. And I love when she said he was wondering why Myra Sade's hair is always looking wet. They have towels in the back. They, dry yourself up. Mike, that was the most entertaining, funny. I'm not even doing it justice. I'm butchering it. I'm botching how funny, how much of the punchline Ryan Nemeth just entertained us with those words in the back. Chris, I know you are a huge Ryan Nemeth fan. How did you perceive that? Because I know I was thinking of you. I was like, yo, he's enjoying this if he's watching.
I did enjoy that. I watched the whole show live. I did watch the whole show live. It was, even though some parts did make me want to turn it off, but I watched it. I liked it, man. Dude, Ryan's awesome. Obviously, he's my boy. We've interacted a couple times on Instagram. We said hi at the Slammiversary softball game when he didn't talk to anybody. He didn't talk to anybody, and he just gave me a quick wave. So shout out to Ryan. I think he's so entertaining. And that's what he does, right? Look, he doesn't need to be there to be on his brother's level, right? He doesn't need that. What he's doing in TNA is better than anything he did in AEW. He's going to get the better opportunity in TNA than any opportunity he would have gotten in AEW. And he's doing what he needs to do. Be that obnoxious heel and entertain. And look, if you didn't like Ryan Nemeth because of whatever bullshit happened in AEW, Punk, whatever, you are not going to sit here and tell me that this guy hasn't had a great TNA run in 2025.
Oh, yeah, hells yeah. Hells yeah.
Dude's kicking ass. I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed it.
I loved it. Yes, indeed. And when we had another backstage in the back, you had Santino Marella demanding to know what general manager Ava knew about last night on the attacks. Ava claims she didn't know nothing. I like when Santino Marella told her that she needs to handle her locker room and he'll handle his TNA locker room. And I think you missed the joke among Santino because his daughter Adriana had her engagement ring. But then he turned around and goes, yes, he kind of said Costco's. I went to Costco's and got extra. I got extra cameras for security to check. He kind of interplaning that Stacks went to Costco's to buy her engagement ring. It was a punchline that I saw it again and I picked up on it. I started laughing. Santino with his quirkiness, with the backstage, but they're talking. Let me ask this: do you think Ava knows what the hell's going on this angle? Because she does work. She did work hand in hand with Robert Stone and Stevie Turner. And Ava, I mean, is this an opportunity for Ava to be an on-camera heel general manager? I don't know.
I don't know either if she would have known about this or not. It's just so random. It's a random faction. Lexus King, Stacks. Who else is
High Ryze, Charlie Dempsey.
Yeah, Charlie Dempsey. Like they need to explain on NXT Gold Rush. They have to, because I'm so lost. What's their mission? What are they doing here? Who's the leader? I don't
Stone.
know.
It seems like one. It looks like Robert Stone.
Seems like Robert Stone.
And also Brooks Jensen is in there.
Here's the thing. Yeah.
Here's the thing. They can't send. Everyone's like, well, why should we care? They didn't send anyone with the upper card. Why should the upper card get involved? They're in Ohio. They're in the Midwest. NXT right now is on an NXT live tour in the Midwest. They're in Green Bay, I believe, in Chicago. They're up in that corridor wrestling, doing house shows, live events. Obviously, they're not going to pull their main talents, their upper card, to go part of this invasion thing. So this is a way of getting the wrestlers that are not featured on those house shows to do something with TNA. That's why. But that's why they're doing that. That's why the upper card wrestlers aren't there doing the invasion angle, because they need something for them to do. And you know what? That's pretty cool. They get something to do. And they feel like, oh damn, they come in like, oh damn, like a renegade rejects of NXT that not getting TV time, and they're forcing themselves. That's why. That's the reason why. Keeping it real, but storyline wise, yes, storyline wise, we need an explanation on that. I agree with you on that. We'll move on to the next match. AJ Francis wrestled some YouTube clown, and then we'll move on. We have the next match. It was a great promo in the back with Gia Miller. Gia Miller had another interview with Steve Maclin. I love when Steve Maclin had to say. He's also hadn't seen Mike Santana. Santana is starting to come off kind of a jerk here. That's what some people say. Maclin said that he will take on Kazarian Nemeth 2-on-1. It doesn't matter. He'll hold the line. And then he's going to stack up the NXT's bodies too. He's going to go all the way to Full Sail and send all those little NXTers back to their PC. Yo, that Maclin promo at the back was fire. That was a true Marine through and through speaking about it. Everybody was fired. The crowd was fired up when Maclin made that speech, because we saw it on the big screen. We're like, yo, yeah, Maclin is that dude. If you had any doubts, we knew that. But if you had any doubts, that promo right there said that, bro. That was cool. How did that come across to you, being a viewer at home?
Yeah, it was a good promo. He's good at doing those promos. It was good. I liked it. It got me fired up. Like, I'm sure it got the people in the building fired up. Yeah, it was a good promo.
We get into the no disqualification match between Danny Nula and Indy Hartwell. This one here, where that fan that I was telling you about, Taco Tuesday, was really, really at its peak of obnoxiousness. Like, use the ladder. I don't know if that came across on your television screen. The ladder. And I'm like, shut.
That dude was loud as hell.
He was loud and obnoxious. He was right next to us. And the funny thing is that TNA management was close, a handshake by there. They got rid of him eventually. This match, it started off hot. I mean, even at the entrance, Danny Luna, even a minute into it, Danny Luna and Henry Hartwell were just hitting each other with chairs, kendo sticks, brawling right around the ringside, where Luna ramming Hartwell into some tables and stopped for a drink. They had that. I don't know. Did she say anything? Because that was a little away from me. Did they like to drink A game? Did they, I know usually when they drink Prime, the wrestler says this tastes like crap. Did they come across the TV with any expletives?
Not that I can remember.
I know Hindi Hartwell grabbed the drink and then spat it in her face and Luna's face. So I don't know because it was out of disgust.
I don't know if she. I don't know because she went like this and she's. I don't know. Maybe because Randy Orton has, he has said this shit's ass, like live on SmackDown. He was like, this shit sucks, and even Dominic has done it too, because he tore down the Prime. So but she just made a face. She didn't really say anything.
I was too far. I'm not too far. I was the ring post.
You were right here in the ring, and she were outside the ring over there. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if I know she spat it. I don't know if I know they were drinking them, and I was trying to see if there was any facials or I could audibly hear her say this is nasty or whatever. Although they don't want to, that's their sponsor right now. With that's Johnny Damon's drink. Lindy Hartwell looks under the ring, got a bunch of weapons. The stop sign, did that come around? Stop hitting her! Stop hitting her! At first, it was funny, but when you sound like a broken record, it got kind of dumb. Because it was funny at first 2 times. Stop with the stop hitting her. That was funny. That was hilarious. That was cool. But again, a joke went a little too far. The record got scratched, and the needle kept playing the same verse over and over with that fan. All in all, the powder spot, this is where I think they got rid of him. Well, he still stuck around. He still stuck around, but he got on TNA's radar when he was talking about, I don't know if it came on through television, talking about cocaine and that powder spot. I don't know if that sounded on television.
No, I didn't know. Some of the matches I didn't have the commentary on.
No, I mean the background when you can hear the crowd, but he kept saying with the the nose, and it's loud in the arena. That fan was a little bit of a pain in the ass when it came. It was cool because compared to what we saw Thursday night, it was a funeral. It was a morgue. Right. Last night was lively, but then you have that one person that kind of you're like, I don't want to say what have you. You want him to be quiet or you want him to be loud, but there's a fine line. You could be loud, funny, but don't hijack with stupid statements, especially with that saying over and over. But at the end of the day, it was a good hard-fought match for Indy Hartwell pinning Danny Nuda. This went 14 minute plus match. Indy Hartwell gets the victory on Danny Nuda. The crowd loves it. BJ Ray was cheered for Indy. That was a good moment with them. He was there for her. And what's next for Indy Hartwell? I think it's her redemption story to try to get back to that Knockouts title, get momentum. I don't think it's there yet, Chris.
Yeah, I don't think it's there either. I thought the match was good. It was the last match between them. Hopefully, it was what it was for it being, no disqualification, type of match. But yeah, I think her next thing is her chasing, Kelani. How she's gonna get there, I don't know, but I think that is her next goal. I agree.
And then we get back-to-back women's matches, which was cool. That's when they gave the Santino with the Bluetooth spot. That's exactly where it was. Or you get these triple threat knockouts match. You get Tessa comes out with Crawford, and I saw Tessa with those shoes and her dress. I was like, I told Luke to Bobby, she ain't wrestling, dude. By the way, Tessa looked phenomenal. Let's look phenomenal. I get it. And of course, the Orlando crowd wants to hijack with those derogatory sayings, towards her singers. It's the same crowd that did that when she came here last time in Full Sail and all that. They tried, but it was they didn't really get the steam that it got the first time around with her. Hopefully that dies out with her and her work, whatever. Let the lady work. Let's see what America's a country of redemption. Let the girl earn her redemption, and she even cut in Spanish. She obviously she cut that in Spanish, which was cool.
That's why I don't get the whole she's a racist chant.
It is.
She speaks really good Spanish. I think she lives in Mexico.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too. Of course, you get the Angel Warriors come out. One thing I am a little disappointed with these Angel Warriors. I don't hear where they're from. I want to know what city these ladies are from. I was in the building. I wanted to hear Mackenzie Mitchell tell us that she's from Chongqing, China. Come on, man. That's one of my favorite part, man. But I like her. I love the Angel Warriors presentation. I always like Ying Lee's kata at the ringside, and then Brookside comes out. Then you get the inspirations. Bobby's not a big fan of them either.
Shout out to Bobby because
I saw you. I thought of you.
Me and my lady were watching this. She was like, "Are they these?" She told me, she was like, "These two are wrestlers." I was like, "Yeah." Yeah, because they're doing like they're first off they're like, I don't mean to get off track, but when you're watching this with a female and in a female match, they're gonna give you their perspective, right? Like, so like from the music they had, from like their like presentation of them to just walk into the ring, like kind of agreed with me. Like it just doesn't, like, this isn't. Ying Lee should have kicked both of them in their face. No problem. Like they shouldn't even be in no competition, and they're the fucking champions. Like, oh yes, I'm not a big fan of them either. But what can we do? They're a recognizable name, so they got
the crowd loved them. The crowd wanted to see the inspiration. They were inspired to see the inspiration. The crowd wanted, and sometimes the crowd wants, the crowd gets at times.
Yeah,
all three ladies come out, and that's when Tessa takes the microphone and says she's not wrestling. That's when she cuts that promo span. She doesn't. The Orlando Degenerates don't deserve to see her. We get an debuting Mila Moore. Now I was sitting. I had no clue. I was sitting next to her parents, Mila Moore's parents, making her debut. When I saw her, we saw the vignettes the night before. When she comes out, her height, her look, bro, Knockouts division in the future, they developed them correctly. I can already see Maggie Lee and against Mila Moore. Those are the two ladies that, not next year, maybe 2 years from now, Bound for Glory, Slammiversary, that's a main event with those two knockout women there. That height and the presentation of those ladies, yeah, they got something. I like the fact that they're investing and they're bringing in young talent, because remember, some of these ladies are not going to be around, either contract reasons or age. They got to start bringing in the next younger ladies into the TNA system and start getting them the bumps and getting the fans recognizable faces. And going forward, don't squander an opportunity like they did with Savannah Evans. I thought Savannah Evans was one that could have been that could have been holy shit, one of those type of deals. Now they have a chance going forward with Mila Moore and of course with M by Elegance. But we'll get into that. The match starts triple threat, typical triple threat, back and forth. Inspiration doing their thing. They got the victory. And here's where the fan, I think, got kicked out. He was saying some stuff to Xia Li, so it was kind of borderline, kind of little risky, raunchy with her ethnicity. And I think that's where we noticed. Then after that, we noticed he was gone. So I don't know what happened there. So I don't know what happened where the guy, if he decided to leave, but I know he was telling Victoria Crawford, "I love you." She came back and said, "I love you, Victoria." And he was very engaging with the women, but that was cool. But then Mila Moore's mom was very uncomfortable when her daughter pulled her robe off, and the guy got a little bit kind of too excited with his words. She got up and looked at him, but listen, she's in the wrestling ring.
Did he say something out loud that was like out of pocket?
Yeah, he was very out of pocket. He was out of pocket. I mean, hey, look,
you gotta tell me off the air what he said.
She was great. She was beautiful. She's beautiful. She's great. But he should have held on. He's an older gentleman. He should have held on to his comments. Keep your comments to yourself. Be respectful. Doesn't mean because she looks a certain way, you have to, the whole, arena and the world watching all across the platform needs to hear your case. If not, they would have put you behind the microphone and go do your own podcast somewhere else and say what you want, but be respectful. I agree with that. Be respectful of the talent and she was making her debut, and the parents are there and so forth. The match was great. The match back and forth was great for me. What I say great was for her debut. I mean, Mila Moore, for her debut, not working with Victoria as a tag team. They moved well. They did some teamwork. Some of the move sets that Mila did, working to her height and her strength, I thought was like, yes, checking the box there, because it's difficult to be in a triple threat with so many different ladies and so moving parts, and her making her debut with nerves, anxiety, her parents in the arena. You got a dumbass who just said something, off-putting before you even unrobe. So I want to give a lot of credit to Mila Moore. She did a hell of a job there. She did a great job composed into the story of the match. And of course, the Iconics get their victory. I asked this, what's next for the Angel Warriors? Like, you put them together. First, they couldn't capture singles. You put them together, maybe they get some knockouts. They didn't quite get there. And now Xing Ying Li is going to have a triple threat at Gold Rush. If Ying Ying Li doesn't win this knockout title, where are we going with the ladies? Spinning wheels now. That's all I'm saying. They're kind of spinning wheels with the Angel Warriors. What's next? But, we'll see. We got some more weeks of coming up. Maybe there's something where there's a program where they decide they're going to go separate ways. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Angel Warriors. But again, I know when that match was over, and I turned over to Mr. Moore, her dad, and I said, and the mom, I said, you know what? I wish nothing but much success in your daughter's wrestling career. Great job. I told her parents that was a nice, and then I didn't even see the fan anymore. We didn't see that guy anymore. So I don't know if he got too overexcited and went home for a Dude Wipes wash or what, but he never. And that's our sponsor tonight, Dude Wipes. Thank you, Dude Wipes, for being our sponsor for tonight. And okay, we're halfway through this here. And then after the match, Carlos Silva, of course, presented the titles to the Inspiration. And they try to get him to dance. I don't know if that came on television with Carlos Silva trying to. No, he did a little bit of
the injury report.
Oh, he did a little bit of a wiggle with the Inspiration. Yeah,
they went into the injury report right after that.
Damn. Well, he did, but that was the Greek side. He didn't really move like the Puerto Rican side. He didn't. I kid with the Greek or Rican. Yes, but it was they wanted him to do a little bit of a booty.
Yeah, no, they missed that on TV. They went into the injury report.
Oh, that was a good spot there for Carlos Silva. Yeah. All right, we get into a triple threat match. The Hardys, Cedric Alexander versus Order 4, Skyler, Jason Hodge, John Skyler, Agent Zero accompany them. And again, I'm gonna tell you this: being in person. We got acknowledged by our Boricua badass Tasha Steele, and in person she is more beautiful. My goodness, that's a beautiful morenita. There you go, Tasha Steele, gorgeous. TV don't do justice.
You told me that. I was like, dude, she's so fun. She was hot. And I didn't see her from that close at Slam, but she looked good too.
And we were there to represent our Boricua badass. We're going to la Boricua. Tasha
didn't even know she was Puerto Rican.
Yeah, Tasha's Boricua. Nice. And it was cool. The match, to me, at that point of the time when that match was going on and before it ended, I was like, yo, this is the match of the night here. And I knew we had more matches. Front runner was that triple threat. Now, I know you had something different. You've seen some. At being in person, seeing the spots and the sequence of it, I didn't see any botching or any slowness to the match. But I don't know what the camera angles and how it's covered and the cuts to the different camera. This is where the live experience and being at home kind of changes the viewer's perspective, because you're watching whatever the camera directors on television is cutting to. Being in front row and seeing it, I saw everything. Chris Crew cut. Next guy, nothing there to no hesitation. Like, oh damn, not even like how do they catch their breaths? Match was spectacular, paced, clean, groove. Now, what did you see on television?
So the match, I loved it. This isn't what I saw on television, has nothing to do with the match itself. The match looked great on TV. Obviously, you have the Rascals out there, right? Wesley looked freaking good.
No, that's not that match yet. We're
Which
talking
one?
about this is the Mustafa Ali, the Hardys.
Oh, the Hardys. Oh, yeah. That's
not that one yet.
Did that stupid pin. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Too many fucking multi-man matches on this card. Yeah, it was that one. They did us again. The camera, like it's probably the camera angle, the way they did it, because Ali was getting the pin, right, and he was outside. They did that spot where the ref goes outside, and then he's out there laying down. I'm correct so far. He's out there laying down, and the next camera angle they shot, he was in the ring counting. I was like,
no. Here's the thing. Before that, Agent Zero pulls the referee out, and he gets a ref bump. He grabs him, and he hits his face on the floor. Then they go to the shenanigans where Agent Zero gets involved, and Hardys are being beating Agent Zero with the chairs and so forth.
They were pointing to that.
So,
they pointed back,
what they didn't show, they didn't show you. This is why I emphasize that when I mention it. It was John Skyler picked up the referee and pulled them into the ring because Mustafa and Jason were trying to set up for the victory move. And that's why the referee seemed like he miraculously got back in the ring. See, this is where that's why I wanted you to speak and mention what you saw on television, and I was going to tell you what happened in the arena because what wasn't shown was him getting pulled back in the ring. Now after that, let's not bury the lead. That twist of faith that Matt Hardy hit on Tasha Steelz and Mustafa Ali was
that was cool,
brutal. Sasha sold her ass off. I mean, I don't mean like that in a negative way. I mean, she sold it where she could have sold ice cubes to an Eskimo. That's how great her facials and her registry of that move was.
I didn't see
Bravo.
They cut the camera.
Now I could be a little biased because I have a thing that she's hot, but I digress. She sold her living. Wonderful job there. But again, that's when the camera angles messed up because they didn't focus on her on that selling. I'm sitting next to an independent wrestler, my friend, and he's telling me she's sold. I go, yeah, you're right. And he's telling me this thing, and it's great. It's why and this is the first time I watch a live event with an independent wrestler sitting with me, and I loved it because we kind of seen eye to eye. I'm not saying that I know the business. I'm not trying to say I'm an expert. I still want to learn. I'm a fan, enjoying it, but I also want to tell you what I saw, and what I'm seeing goes pretty much kind of almost hand in hand with the independent wrestlers and so forth like that. So, which is cool. I felt good for me watching along there live with someone who is taking the bumps and going through the whole wrestling world that belongs in that world, and it was cool. And I saw, she did register herself well, and it was great. That's what, again, back to the finish that didn't look good on television, or might have been a little bit of a disconnect. The referee was pulled in and was brought into the ring.
That makes sense. No, that makes sense because what they showed on TV was they showed Agent Zero obviously dragging him out. He got the ref bump. They showed the shenanigans going on, and then they pulled back into the and then they pulled back into the ring with the count. So that makes perfect sense now that you explained it. Because again, from at Slammiversary, right? I actually haven't rewatched it on TV since I went. I actually have to, because now that we're talking about this, I'm going to do that because I want to see what looked different on TV at Slam compared to what we saw. So that makes sense.
And that's a good thing. That's a nice thing. See, guys, I would love to be at these events, but I'm gonna be totally honest with you. To break down stuff like that, it costs money, and that's something that we're lacking in our channel right now. We could use your support. We could use your super chats or donations to the channel, so we could go. We like the way we break things down and we talk about that. You could hit the QR code here, buy us a cup of coffee. Hit a super chat on X, on our YouTube channel, or right here, buy us a cup of coffee. It helps us. It helps us get there. Getting in the arena is not the big issue. It's getting there is the big issue for us on our channel. One lives in Pennsylvania, Hershey. One lives in Orlando, Florida. The airlines and all that other stuff. But we want to be there and break these things down and give you a perspective of a fan to the fan. We are fans. We're not trying to, yes, I have I'm backed up with a journalistic company and so forth, but I'm a fan at first and foremost. I'm a fan, and I want to give it as a fan perspective. I want to be telling you what I saw, how I felt, and how I am impacted. What kind of an impact, no pun intended, as TNA or professional wrestling has done in our lives. That's why we do this. You know, that's why we do this. We want to continue to break these things down, and that's why we ask you for your support financially in all that you could do. Can help $1, a dollar, $2, $5. We don't put no limits. Everything could go for us towards the research, you know, to break this down as a fan to watch wrestling. So we appreciate it, man. I know time's a little tight. I mean, for me, I can say it's tight. For everyone, it's tight. Everyone is rubbing 2 nickels to see if they can make $50 out of them. So we'll get right into this here. This is the match here that, my goodness, could have been match of the night too, because this is a series of matches that the card just started going. It's like a roller coaster, started going up. It's the triple threat. Actually, the fatal four. It's the fatal, not the fatal four. 8-man tag. Excuse me. Let me get that right. The System, Moose, JDC, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, accompanied by Alicia Edwards, taking on the Rascals, Trey Miguel, Myron Reed, Zachary Wentz, and the return of Desmond Xavier Howard, because they didn't know what the hell to call him. Mackenzie Mitchell.
Yeah, I texted you that.
I know.
I was like, Desmond Alexander?
Oh, Alexander. I don't know where I got Howard from.
Did he change his name? And then I was like, and then Tom on commentary, Kermit on commentary was like,
Matthew.
Yeah, Matt. He was like, Aiden English. He was like on commentary. He was like, here comes the return of Desmond Xavier. He didn't even mention that Mackenzie, like, he didn't even say, like, well, she meant it like nothing. Like, they played it, like, they act like nothing happened. They're like, here comes Desmond Xavier. I was like, so Aiden English just said Xavier, and now Mackenzie Mitchell. I was like, oh. And then that's why I texted you. I was like, yo, any word that did he change his name? Was it a botch? Like,
I think it was a mistake.
A mistake.
By the way,
I
can't. You can't go to
which happens. I'm not. I was just curious to see if they got the name changed.
And you can't go to TNA's website because they also make mistakes. They got Mike Santana from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, yeah.
He's from the Bronx, ladies and gentlemen. They haven't corrected that there. So I don't know how much trustworthy am I going to go to the TNA website either, because they have Mike Santana from the Bronx borough.
Okay, they have him from
in New York City. So
I saw that. I was like, holy. They got a couple people fucked up too. They have like the Nemeths from like Columbus when they're from Cleveland.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I guess close enough.
I guess, right?
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, close enough. We don't give a fuck to actually get it right. Close enough.
I wonder where Xia Li is from.
Orlando on the website.
Come on, she's from Chongqing, China.
No, it's. I think it says Orlando, Florida.
Oh, all right. Let's stay on topic here. But it was great to see the formerly Wesley, Desmond Xavier Alexander, whichever name he decides to call. I think she was thinking of Cedric Alexander.
I thought she. Oh, that too. Yeah. I thought of Josh Alexander in my head for some
reason. It could be too. Okay.
Well, yeah, no, Cedric makes more sense. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I can see why she got the confused.
Come on. Because of the braids? Come on, man. But that's her friend. That's her homie, though. Because not for nothing, when Mackenzie Mitchell was a backstage pundit in NXT doing interviews, the Kathy Kelly role, and Kelly Kincaid. Her and Wesley, when he was in the NXT with her, they had great chemistry with they always used to end the interviews with a high five, just a genuine friendly high five back with one another. It was cool. If you look at those 2.0 days,
so used to calling him Wesley, and now she's
just
forgot. It happens. I was just curious to see if he actually changed his name.
Yeah,
I didn't care if she botched it. I just wanted to know if the name was changed. So
yeah, this thing with the names is starting to get a little funky. And when we do our SmackDown review, I want to break. I have a thing about it that kind of bothers me a little bit. The name changing stuff when it comes to this. I mean, everyone knew he was Wesley? Why not keep it Wes? Unless if Wes didn't want to keep it there.
Dude, I'm so sick. Not to get off track. I haven't called Jeff Cobb JC Mateo once since he's came to WWE.
That's another. Yeah. We got to do a video on that. We don't want to take too much of your Saturday afternoon with that because I got to get ready to go later on tonight. Let's go right into that 8-man tag. Xavier returns, of course, with the Rascals. The story of this match is the power of the system against the speed of the Rascals. It was a crazy, super exciting, fun match throughout the arena. The crowd loved it. The Moose chants. We even did I don't know if we heard it on camera. Da 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 da. Oh, so we were loud. We did it. Good job there on us for the Fandango. Fandango did a movie. Says I haven't done this in 20 years. He had pulled out something, and of course you get a clown fan. One more time. Eddie Edwards turned around and said, "No fucking way." He turned around to us and says, "No fucking way." I was like, "Yeah, that's go ahead. There you go." You know, we wanted to do this to point at who was the clown that said it, but I digress. But it started off great. Marlon Reed. Did ask you this with the return of Desmond? Did Marlon Reed feel like left out?
Because you saw in his just from the entrance alone, because it felt like, no disrespect to him, but it felt like when Wes came out, like Desmond, when his interactions with Trey Miguel and Zach Wentz just felt more like welcome back. And then Myron Reed was just like, "Yo, what's up, bro? How are you?" And then it was just like, "Yo, like we're here." Yeah. And they have a great chance of playing that into a story.
Ooh. Well, what was it? Eric Young was the one that
is coming. I swear, if Eric Young, if you see this later, and obviously I'll see it next week or whatever, if they do it something, and again, if you see this later, I want you to think of me. Don't tell me, but think of me.
Okay.
If Eric Young goes backstage and has something with Myron Reed, it's happening.
Okay. All right. He's
back. He's back.
Yeah.
You know what that means? They don't care about you anymore. Yo, quick question about Eric Young. What that outside, the thing
he didn't do it yesterday.
Outside, oh, okay. Because that was fucking hilarious.
He would have done it. If he would have done it last night, I would have said, use my promo code for Dude Wipes.
That was
you knew I would have said something goofy.
I was laughing my ass off. I was dying. He was like, he was outside. Everyone's looking.
I know. I wish it would have happened last night. I was hoping Eric Young was out there with the cleanse, because I said, bro, you could clean that up with a Dude Wipe. You could clean that up with a Dude Wipe, our sponsor, and that, yeah, definitely. Speaking of that, let's bring in our sponsor, because the leaves are falling. Let Dude Wipes tell us about. Here's a quick
Dude Wipes. The leaves may be falling and the dumps are calling. Dumpkin spice season is here.
It's time to get a Christmas theme one, brother.
Oh no, I've got one. I've got one. I've got one. Yeah, I got one. It's got put it together. I've got the Christmas one. But it's still autumn. Thanksgiving
hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't
happened yet. I'm not one of those people that celebrate Christmas.
It's pumpkin season. So it's pumpkin season. You still got some.
Exactly.
You could still get your dumpkin spice. There's plenty of them on the aisles in your famous in your stores, wherever you get it, and in Walmart, Kroger's, anywhere you shop your toilet paper aisle. Of course, hit me out. I've got on the video description. My promo code is there. You save 20% off. 20% off. You save on Boris Jedi Network and Dude Wipes. We're wiping out the competition and keeping tushies clean all across, in and out of the ring. So yes, let's get right into the fun match. Good flurries there. The spot where Zachary flips and Desmond pushes him over. That they've been doing that for years, from the MSK days. They just hit at all cylinders. At one point there, when the match ended, I had to go to the restroom, and I saw Killer Kelly, and I never got starstruck. I'll be honest with you, I got starstruck because she is gorgeous in person. I saw her. I wanted to take a picture. I was like, I froze. I was like, nah. She was watching, of course, her husband's match in the back. But yeah, she is a looker person. Like, wow. I just wanted to put that note. And my people says, who cares? Well, I mean, just wanted to bring that out there. Let's go. This match was 14 minutes and 20 seconds. Great job there. When this match ended at the night, when I was on my way to my car, I bumped into Alicia Edwards. I said the guys did a phenomenal job. That was, to me, one of the match of the nights. And I saw Alicia. I saw Rosemary at the end of the parking lot. High Ryze, one of the High Risers, and all. It was cool. This match was great. I loved it. Eric Young confronts. Speaking of Eric Young confronts. Maybe there is something to what we were talking about. He confronts Morella, blaming Mantino for all the TNA problems. So Morella booked a last night's finish. Morella pointed the fingers at Young. So Young warned Morella that the cleanse is coming. Now, could Eric Young be the one behind this NXT to trying to get a cleanse? What do you think? There's so mysteries up in the air.
That's why I have no idea. It's really rare when, because there's a couple things even in WWE where it's like I have no idea. Like they got me. Like there's so many different scenarios, and it's like I could be here all day. Honestly, like he could still do that with the Rascals, with Myron. He could be a part of this still. Like, I don't know what it means by the cleanses. I have no idea what he really means by that. No clue.
And especially we need him pay off with. I would have loved him to said I cleansed TNA from Joe Hendry, since we don't know he signed with the WWE. Yeah. I would have loved that, but we'll see where that goes here. This one here, people strap in, because I was saying this is either the past of the X Division or the present of the X Division versus the future of the X Division. Rich Swann versus Leon Slater for the X Division title. The young bruv. Oh yeah, you mean I was doing this? I was doing this in the crowd. Oh yeah.
I was laying down in my bed and I was like this. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "Watch him when he comes out." And she was like, And she was like, "But that UFO's sick." She liked the UFO thing in the back.
He's out of this world, man. That kid is out of this world.
That was my
match.
Why
he comes out of the UFO. He comes out of the UFO. His theme, his entrance, because he is out of this freaking world. Leon Slater, only 21 years old. The crowd loves him. I mean, man, he is that young bruv, man, the youngest in charge. Young bruv, yo, he is awesome, bro. He is awesome. Took good pictures with him. Man, bro, you give it justice to this.
That kick Rich Swann gave Leon in the middle, where Rich Swann did like a super kick, but he did like a flip. Dude, I don't know how loud that was in the arena.
It was loud.
It was loud on my projector.
It was loud.
You heard and I was like, dude, that match was so good. Like Rich Swann, like he looks great. Obviously, he had some, fucked up shit happen in the past couple of years. But he looked so good last night. I think he's, this is the future of the X Division with Leon. I think we're gonna get another round with him and Javon once they're stopped being buddy. But no, this was the match of the night, dude. Rich Swann looked great. Leon obviously looks phenomenal. Obviously the ending was cool. Rich Swann showed, First Class. Somebody from First Class showed a little baby face side for once. That was cool. But no, just the back and forth. I mean, those matches is what I like with the X Division, dude. I love those matches. Again, Leon doing his flip outside of the turnbuckle when he goes out. That's always cool to watch. But the main thing I wanted to look at was Rich Swann, because I know how good Leon is. We're going to see Leon on Tuesday. I wanted to see how Rich Swann will look in this match. Bro, he looked great. This was the match of the night. That kick was deadly. Overall, right winner. And I think Rich Swann, if he has another match in the future, gets the title at some point, brings some heat to First Class as a heel in the X Division eventually, I wouldn't mind if he beats him eventually for it.
Here's what I saw. I don't think we ever questioned the in-ring when it came to Rich Swann. Mm-hmm. It's the extracurricular stuff, staying clean with his demons. Right. That's all. That's what I think with Rich Swann, the issue. I don't think the in-ring I don't think anyone had any issues or any question marks with it. It's just the other stuff that comes outside when you're not in the square circle, all the other stuff. I think that's all with him. To see that back and forth, there was a spot where Rich Swann did a move and Bobby said, "That's cash money all day." And he goes, "You bet your ass." I don't know if it sounded like that. He says, "You're damn right." That was Bobby. Got him. Bobby got him to react on that one. That was cool with Rich Swann. I like when Rich Swann did his famous was it Thriller or Beat It move. He did his Beat It move. That was cool. That was fun. I was like, yeah, let's go, Rich. Swanee was great. The match was the match of the night. You want to say for our singles competition. Yes. But I want to say this. Everyone says, well, you complain about the other company when they do the kind of a spot fest, but this was different because this was a one-on-one X Division title, and that's what the X Division is about. The Fatal Four, I keep saying Fatal Four Way, the 8-man tag, they had their spots, but they did this in sequence as a group, as a team. Where Leon was different because it was a one-on-one contest, if it makes sense. And then you had your triple threat. Oh, your 6-man tag when it came to Order 4 with the Hardys and Cedric. It was a little different because there wasn't, and you didn't see a lot of the same copy and paste moves. You know, they didn't bastardize the Canadian Destroyers here or so forth and match to match. They kind of pasted and they did it in different aspects, and they still gave you the oohs and ahs in that Slater match versus Swan. I like the fact, at first I thought when Swan kicked Leon's hand, I was like, oh, shucks, here we go. But then he hugged him. That was like, yeah, I was like, damn, that was cool. That was cool by Rich Swan. Because remember, we don't know if he's still part of, he came out the full first class music and so forth. But remember, AJ Francis turned on him in that battle royal. Don't know if there's any, because they went away for a month. We don't know if there's a little trouble in paradise there with them. In if he's associated with first class, you know, so forth like that. We don't know. We don't know if they tease it or not. We'll find out. And then after that, there was an interview with Gia Miller. I don't know if that came across on television where they let us know that his grandma unfortunately passed away. And of course, the crowd chanted his grandmother's name. Leon got in some tears. You know, he appreciated the love and the warm sympathy from the fans. And then he got into the promo talking about his match with, you know, talking about Javon and how they're going to go try to capture tag team gold against Dark State at Gold Rush. All right, he got right back into it. He just went right back to it. It was cool. The young bruv, he threw a little funny zinger there. And all in all, who's not gonna like seeing Leon wrestle in the next 10, 20 years? And even Javon, those two guys are the future professional wrestling with it, and they're getting better. They're getting better and better because his promo last night was more clear, more, you know, the English accent is starting to turn into where you're more audible, more noticeable, and it's just like everything in life. With more time and more work you put into it, the better you get at it, and you seeing that with both Javon and Leon Slater. So you got to be excited where those two are heading in their future, going forward here. All right, it's main event. Everybody's getting ready for that. Maclin versus Mike Maclin with Mike Santana, Nemeth, and Kazarian. When Steve Maclin comes out first, I was like, oh, okay. So then Maclin comes out, and then we're all waiting, awkward pause, and we're looking all over I'm looking all over the exit signs to see where is Mike. And then because we had the flags, and then we had another guy with the flag. The guy that had the flag, the Puerto Rican flag that Scott Steiner spat on, he had that with it. Yeah, so we were all waiting. Goes, oh, Mike might come through here. Mike come, and then no Mike Santana. We're like, what the hell is going on? Then you get your heels, Nic Nemeth, Kazarian. The match begins. I thought Maclin looked like a badass. Held the line. He held and he represented TNA proud, like the true trooper that he is. He was kicking ass by himself for a while there, Chris.
Yeah, he was. And I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen. As soon as they took forever to didn't hit his music, I knew somebody would. I knew either Frankie or Nic Nemeth was coming out. So yeah, he held his own until Mike came out. That was good. He got the first shot. So yeah, I made sense. I liked it. And then Mike came out and everything was good for there. It wasn't a long main event, but it was good.
No, because Mike comes in at Mercedes.
Yeah.
And then he comes into the arena right through where we all come in through, put on the tape, and I was like, man, where's Boy Nasty? Come on, play Boy Nasty. I'm in the arena, I want to hear it. The route and apple don't fall from the tree. I was there, and but he just came in, took care of business. That was cool, and it wasn't a long match because he came in and he did what he had to do. You know, he first you grimaced about the hand, but then he managed to hit the spin, the block, and get the pin for the victory. But afterwards, this is where all the chaotic stuff happens. You have an opportunity there where Nic Nemeth looked like he was going to cash in his gauntlet on Frankie Kazarian. He goes to the referee. When the referee was taking too long, come on, man. He's giving you the damn trophy. Ring the damn bell, get in there. But then, boom, we get the NXT just invading. and just they laid out the shit out of everyone in the ring first. Then there was a spot where they didn't hit Frankie Kazarian at all. He's in the corner, and it was like, yo, everyone mentioned in the crowd, yo, they're not touching Kazarian. They're not hitting Kazarian. They go, then they all point and look. I don't know if this came on television. They look like they go towards Kazarian, and they attack Kazarian. I don't know how far did the telecast go for you guys on TV?
No, I think. Let me see. 'Cause when they came out, no, I think it looked. Yeah, because Kazarian got taken down when Ryan or when Nick cashed in. They did that, and then they had everyone come out. It looked fine on TV.
No, because they didn't touch Kazarian until like a while. Until they beat everybody up, Santana, everybody.
I didn't
and
really.
then Kazarian was in the corner all by himself, like. And I thought they were gonna help him up, and he was gonna be, condescending, holding the title, and they were gonna go off the air. Him, with Robert Stone and that, but no, they laid it onto him as well. Then security came out and they got their butts kicked. Security got their ass kicked, and then the Hardys finally show up. Actually, first before the Hardys, it was the Northern Armory or Saints and Sinners came out and they got laid out. They tried to come out there. Kudos for them to trying to be the only brave soul. Like, where's the system? What happened to Moose and what happened to all the system? What happened to, Cedric? What happened to everyone? Where's Leon? He's got beef with NXT ties and back and forth. Where's he? Why he didn't come back out and all that? So they didn't show up. Only the Hardys. Then the Hardys came in for it and they got laid out. NXT totally laid them out completely. And then they exit right out the building, right through the front, the same way Santana entered. But then the baby faces or the TNA folks caught. I don't know if this was off the air, but
they went off the air as soon as they went off the air. Before you said the NXT guys left the ring.
Yes,
they were in the ring when they went off the air.
Okay, so they exit right out through
really
the front
quick.
door.
They put the credentials, and they were still mid motion while they went off the
air.
Oh
wow.
They might by splits, like they were still doing something and went, and then they went off the
air. What's going on, James Jones? Thank you for joining us here. Appreciate you. Yeah, so they went in, and of course they cut a promo. I got a little bit of Santana's promo. He was funny with the crowd because Maclin asks him, hey, I'm glad you came, but you were a little late. And and I remember someone shouted, he goes, because he's on Puerto Rican time. He's Puerto Rican. We're never late. And he goes, you're damn right. That was funny. That was hilarious. I loved it. He took the mic, goes, let me sit down and let me sit. He addressed us. By the way, he grabbed Bobby's flag, the big Puerto Rican flag you see on my thumbnail. That was Bobby's flag. He came over to got it from us. And here's.
I might as well keep taking my time because I'm a bit pissed off. I'll be real with all of y'all. I definitely didn't want to be here today. After what happened, obviously. After what happened last night,
grab the blinky!
I'm pissed off. I'm pissed at the world. But you know what? As I was sitting in my car at the lowest point, I kept thinking, this ain't about me. All of you guys deserve for me to be here. All of you guys deserve to TNA. Fight until there's nothing left. And that's what we're going to keep going. Because we alive, baby. We need to keep going. NXT, beware. Everybody that comes from everywhere, beware. Y'all got the hottest, nastiest dudes in the world. And we're going to defend these three letters until the death of us. Because this is TNA.
And that's when Mike Santana had to rally the troops. After that, the arena erupted with TNA, and then we finally got my Santana's intro music to play on the loudspeaker. He went out, of course, all the wrestlers, Hardys, Maclin, of course, to the crowd. Of course, Mike took my picture with Mike Santana in the crowd. He gave Bobby back his Puerto Rican flag, and the night was off from there. So great night for TNA. Here now, let's talk about the stuff here. I know I called Busted Open on Friday afternoon around 10:51 Eastern time. I spoke with Dave LaGreca and Bully Ray. I mentioned that, for Gold Rush this Tuesday, would have loved to see Mike Santana take on Ricky Saints for the NXT World Title, and Mike Santana taking that title from them. They didn't do anything to build for it last night, all other than more tension and more strife. We already had, and this is where I'm a little confused, Chris. What do we get here? Because the NXT showdown already happened. Like, are we going to go back to, again, Survivor Series styles matches with NXT and TNA? Then I asked this other question. If we do you really want to see those members that are attacking NXT right now, TNA right now, really represent NXT versus the TNA men? It kind of feel like you're downgrading it with the talent. No disrespect to the talent that's
This feels
invading.
repetitive.
It feels repetitive.
They did this already. That's the only thing I really have.
I agree.
They already did this. I don't. Yeah, they already did this. They already had an invasion angle. I don't know why we're getting it again. I didn't like the way they I don't like the way. I don't know what they're doing here. I have no words for what they're doing here. It makes no sense to me. Zero. Even after last night, makes no sense to me. That was the one thing I was hoping to get out of that main event situation with Santana. Some sense. Didn't get any.
No, they just wanted to take the title and put it on Frankie Kazarian. Again, we're not as a uber Mike Santana fan, passionate Mike Santana fan as we are. At least for me, I'm not upset one bit that Frankie is your TNA World Champion.
He deserves
He's
it.
He's a Mount Rushmore wrestler. He has earned his career in TNA. But how they got there is where we have an issue that scratches our head, because you're like, what? It feels wonky. It feels dumb. It feels like you're honoring someone from the past. You're honoring someone who earned it, but you're really crapping on someone who might be your future of your company. Because let's face it, Mike could be the future of the company going forward, until Leon decides to take the reins. If he stays in TNA, if he doesn't get a lucrative deal from the or elsewhere, you never know with money and people's mindset. So that's my little bit of an issue. Where are we going with this? We may not be Frankie Kazarian who send them because they attacked them. Could it be Eric Young? What does Eric Young get out of this? Getting cleansing of what? Cleansing veterans out of TNA? I don't get it. I don't know, because now what it's told me, you know what I got out of this, Chris? You rush to do Showdown because you were going head to head with Dynamite. You could have built it and done it now. You rushed it because it would have been you know what? You would have been ooh and ah in us right now, because you were going on a Wednesday, on a Tuesday head to head in October, you decided to rush that. It was great program, it was a great event, but it kind of felt rushed for 2 weeks. And we blew it off. That's the only thing, especially the way you're doing it now, kind of slow playing now, invasion with the middle card wrestlers coming in and attacking. That's the way I feel. I don't know how it benefits Mike Santana going forward. What's next for Mike Santana? How does he make sense getting the world title, especially the TNA world title, when NXT is interrupting? I mean, what does it have to do? How Kazarian was opportunistic then for clashing in the cup, the call your shot gauntlet against him? I don't know where it goes. What's Ava's involvement? How is it going to pan out? I'm open-minded. I want to see how it develops storytelling wise, but it's not making sense, and people are ridiculing it online. And I know they don't book for people on the IWC on Twitter, but they're the ones that have the most loudest vocal voices. Because if they start saying it's no good, people are not islands of the relevancy. They like to be followers, not leaders. They want to be parrots. So they'll start repeating and copy and pasting all the negativity, how bad this is, how bad it is. And then it starts getting snowball effect. People that don't know nothing, they look at that and they get influenced by other people's negative takes or repeating the negativity instead of observing and having an open mind and being their own judge, their own beauty of the eye of the beholder. And they want to read the cliff notes. They don't want to read the whole book. And that's the problem when it comes to wrestling. If one guy don't like it, oh, it's terrible. that's my issue that I have with wrestling in 2025, because to a couple of guys that have a nice popular podcast say that it's not good or this is garbage, they believe it instead of checking it out and experiencing themselves and taking the time and have the open mind and see where it goes. Does it make sense? I'm not saying our word is Bible either. It's my opinion. It's our opinion. We want you to form your opinion. We want you to agree to disagree with us or agree with us. That's the way that's why I do this. I'm not here to persuade you and say you have to like it the way I like it. No, all I'm asking you to debate it, and let's watch it and see it yourselves and opinionate and see. And if our opinion agrees with you, we agree. We don't, we agree to disagree. That's the way I want to do these podcasts, Bruce.
Yeah, and I think we've been doing a good job of doing it. You know, I'm to end, you know, my final thoughts really of this whole situation, because once this weekend's over, once this is over, once we go off the air, I'm gonna move forward and try to, you know, figure out what's happening, what's gonna happen. I'm gonna have an open mind. But I will say this: I'm not mad about Frankie Kazarian winning, because my tweet kind of blew up a little bit after that happened. Mike Santana, I'm not mad about Frankie Kazarian. I've been watching Frankie Kazarian TNA since I was a kid. I don't believe in the term "you've deserved it." He's earned it, but he's earned it a while ago. To me, he deserves this fucking title at some point, because he's earned it a while ago. They never gave it to him. I know that might not make sense, but in my head, it makes sense. And I think it was just bad timing. If you wanted to build Mike Santana up like a champion and then have Frankie beat him when the time was right, I would have no issue with that. And especially if you want to get the AJ Styles and Frankie match, which it's not happening. Okay. But why does that match need the TNA title involved? It doesn't. It doesn't. It simply doesn't. AJ's not going to be around. Frankie, I mean, this isn't going to elevate Frankie's status by beating AJ. He's fucking Frankie Kazarian. Like, that's why I don't understand why he needed it now. That's my only thing. Why now? Why did you have Santana's title reign be during your fucking break? Your vacation break. I mean, I don't even want to call it creative. It feels like something again. It feels like we obviously don't, but it feels like there's something out there that no one knows about. So I like Frankie. I'm not mad at him winning it. I'm just, the fucking timing's stupid.
Yeah, because it's not an injury to Mike Santana. Like people were speculating, you know,
it's
Mike,
not an
Mike,
injury. It's not. He got in trouble. Like, it's nothing like that. So what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. What's going on? Yeah, what's going on and where is this leading to? Because again, this is where it gets me mad. This is where I get mad. I get mad with all the wrestling companies in general, because maybe I don't see it. Again, that's why this is a show from a fan to a fan. You know, I'm a fan and you guys are fans, because they don't seem like they read the room correctly. When I mean read the room, the arenas, the venues, the crowds, the atmosphere properly. I mean, how are you really are you really, guys in creative, are they really living under a rock? Like, why he didn't win in New York City, Mike Santana, where he has all the New Yorkers and all the fans that love him there. Then you could have easily, okay, you wanted to do this to Mike, we're going to take the TNA title from you, but here's what we have in store for you. You know, the NXT champion, or even the North American title, which I don't think Ethan's losing, but something where he could build a storyline, something, a disrespect, whatever, for Gold Rush, where Madison Square Garden. What city is Madison Square Garden? In New York City. Who is the hottest guy in all of professional wrestling? Who everyone's invested, other than Corey, Cody. Finish your story investment emotionally is and I'm saying it's not the same. It's along those parameters when people give a shit and love and invested is in the character of Mike Santana finishing a story for his daughter. He did that, yes, indeed, but then you did that way unless you got something greater. Nothing seems greater for Mike Santana if he goes to and wins an NXT and WWE title in Madison Square Garden. Let's face it, the UBS Arena was just built a couple years ago. Us New Yorkers that were born and raised in New York City, you hear it from Mark Anthony, you hear it from Bad Bunny, you hear it from everyone. I want to headline Madison Square Garden. They call it the Mecca for anything. Even if you want to sing a concert, you want to fight a UFC fight, you want to fight a boxing match. Where the halls that had Ali fight there from boxing matches, from Tyson to the greats in that hall, from World Clive Frazier, from the Willis Reed, then the history of Madison Square Garden, Bruno, and all that stuff. If you're telling me, and I get it, it's not the Gardens, the theater at Madison, but it's still Madison Square Garden, New York City. If you're telling me Mike is going to win a title there, okay, I think that really makes something. That's something special. That's a special recollection. Now, and again, I'm not trying to diminish the UBS Arena. UBS Arena is a new arena that hasn't really had much history, and maybe TNA wants to make a history, but you didn't. Trick Williams has that history in that building. Now, but now Mike has a chance to be the first TNA wrestler to win a major singles title for TNA in WWE television. Unless, and I don't know. Let me ask you this, Chris: if somehow on Monday he Solo Sikoa's opponent, is that enough? I don't think so.
No,
I don't think
he ain't gonna be Solo Sikoa's opponent.
I know that.
Even if he was, right? No, it doesn't do anything for me. Cool seeing him in Madison Square Garden and main roster. That's it. That'd be really, really cool. Yeah, but I'm not gonna forget. It's not gonna make me forget what happened on Thursday. So
because he's not gonna go past the first round.
Exactly. And
then so made him give up so he pretty much gave up his TNA World Title to have a match in Madison Square Garden to lose. I mean, yeah, but he's debuting. What are you complaining? He's on the main. He's going to be seen by millions on Netflix.
I don't care.
I mean,
that's not what was supposed to happen right now.
That's right. I'm glad you mentioned that. There's a time and place for that, and it's not. This wasn't the time or the place, especially when you just have it's going to be Joe Hendry. We could see the handwriting on the wall there, because after that, that's it. That's all the surprises. I don't want to do any spoilers because you haven't watched SmackDown, but I think who's the
I know
mystery.
who it was. That was all over my Instagram when I was tweeting that for the show. So woo, yeah. But that's a but yeah.
Yeah, and so what's next for Mike Santana? We want to break it down. We're confused just like you, like the title there. What's next? We're not clickbaiting you. We want to tell you what's next for Mike Santana. As Mike Santana Uber fans, we're confused as you. That's why we had this conversation. We reviewed it. We reviewed the destruction of the TNA locker room by NXT talent. They hijacked it at Turning Point, and we're like you guys. I would love you guys to comment in our video to find what do you think is next for Mike Santana and TNA, because they're not going to be put on the Survivor Series card for a match. If you're thinking in WWE is going to in San Diego is going to put TNA versus NXT, I will be super surprised. I won't complain. I will be ecstatic, but I don't see it happening. I
agree.
Do you see in Deadline? Because then you have 2 Iron Survivor, and then I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. So I don't want another television special because it's gonna feel so rushed with all the stupid commercials, and then they're gonna go off the air at 10 o'clock hard, and that when the main event, when the whatever it's gonna wrap up, it took away a little bit from Showdown because you knew by 10 o'clock they had to go off the air. You knew something was gonna happen. It took away from the NXT show. That was a great show. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I'm confused when it comes to the direction of Mike Santana. We ride and die with Mike Santana, by the way. Just letting you know that we're not jumping off or we're not diminishing our love, and we ride and die with Nuestro Campeón, our guy. He's our champ, man. We ride and die with the man. Wherever he goes, we're following. We're gonna root, cheer, and see what goes for him. But creative needs to do a little more greater for him. The crowd likes him. and he enjoyed it. So, guys, thank you so much. I will be in attendance tonight. If you're in Full Sail, if you're in Orlando, hey, come on, say hi, man. I would like to say hi and say if you watched the video, thank you. We'd love to hear your feedback. By the way, I want to say thank you. Check out Distracted by Wrestling. His photography on point, beautiful. He does some great pictures. Our friend Leo, everyone that I saw there as well, Front Row Joe, and all those there on at the event as well. So salute to you guys, man. See you tonight there, and let's go TNA. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday afternoon. Like, share, and subscribe. Gracias, que Dios me lo bendiga. We'll see you next time.
Represento